Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshthārajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shrunvannotibhis Siddhasadanam Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Dear friends, we are in this shloka number 21. That is Shariram Kevalam Karma Kurvan Apnoti Kilbisham. We are in this line. The shloka is Nirashir Yatachittatma Tyakta Sarva Parigraha Shariram Kevalam Karma Kurvan Apnoti Kilbisham. The argument of Shankaracharya is that by doing activity which is merely for the maintenance of the body, a person does not get kilbisham. That is, the person will not get the fruit of that particular karma. So that is what he was saying. So by the use of the words Shariram Kevalam Karma, that is the activity relating to the body. Shariram Karma means activity relating to the body. The Mimamsaka, that is the ritualist. There are always our ritualists who want to establish the presence of some activity or the other, some karma or the other. They do not want to totally give up these karmas. So there is a possibility of interpreting this word Shariram Kevalam Karma in 4 different ways. Shankaracharya has explained all those 4 different ways, and then he said all those 4 different explanations which a Mimamsaka can give, they do not fit in here. And only meaning which fits in is that activity which is merely for the maintenance of the body. So only when you say like that, Shariram Kevalam Karma is equal to activity which is meant merely for the maintenance of the body. Only when you say that, this sentence, this shloka is in consonance with the overall philosophy of Gita. So that is what Shankaracharya is going to say. What are these 4 different ways of say misinterpretation? There is a fairly long discussion, and if you want to recapitulate, if I just want to recapitulate, the first way is, that is Shariram Karma Kurvanniti Visheshanat. Where is that thing? Sharira Nirvatyam Karma Shariram Ityabhipretam. Okay. Then the Shariram Karma Kurvan Na Apnoti Kilbisham. What does it literally mean? It literally means that by doing karma by the body, a person does not get any sin. So when you say by doing karma, you can do prohibited karma or a permitted karma, anything. By doing anything, you will not get, say, papam. So that is a wrong statement. Suppose you correct yourself. No, it is not prohibited karma. I will only do sharira karma. I will only do permitted karma. When I do permitted karma, there is no question of obtaining any kilbisham or papam. So you are stating the obvious, you are not stating anything new. There is something which is well known to everybody, you are stating. So these 2 alternatives are ruled out. Then the third alternative he takes out is Shariram Kevalam. So Shariram Kevalam means when you say only body, then he says a man can do say any activity by 3 ways. What is it? Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. By mind also, that is by entertaining good thoughts or bad thoughts. You either get punyam or papam. By uttering good words or bad words, you either get punyam or papam. Then karma, either good karma or bad karma. So if you exclude karma, shariram karma, then what are the 2 things which are remaining? Mind and words. Manasa, vacha are remaining. In fact, in our puja also, during our Sandhya Vandan, if you are doing Sandhya Vandan, you have a mantra. You have a mantra in that Suryaschamanyu Kutebhya Papebhyo Rakshantam Yadratriya Papamakarsham Manasa Vacha Hastabhyam. So it goes on like that. Manasa Vacha Hastabhyam. There are 3 ways in which a man can do either good or bad. Manasa Vacha Hastabhyam. Hastabhyam is by other limbs also, not only by hands but also other limbs. So Manasa by mind, by Vacha by walk, that is by words, and also by deeds, by physical activity of various limbs of the body. So that is it. So like that, there are 3 ways of doing either good or bad. When you say Shariram Kevalam Karma Napnoti Kilbisham, by merely saying that by doing activity with the body you will not attain sin, then it will imply that by doing something or anything, by doing anything with the help of mind and walk, words, manasa, vacha, whatever karma is done, you will attain kilbisham. So that is what it means, isn't it? So it also means that even if you entertain good thoughts about somebody, and even if you say good words and then help somebody, you will still get papam. It will mean like that, isn't it? Manasa, vacha, whatever you do, you will get kilbisham. Only shariram karma is exempted from kilbisham. Then which means that manasa, vacha, whatever you do, you will get kilbisham. That is the third alternative. It is something which is contradicting the Shastra. Suppose you are doing some good thing by use of words and by entertaining some good thoughts, by entertaining some good ideas, you are helping somebody, which means it is something which is useful, isn't it? By doing something which is good, how can you get papam? So that third option also is ruled out. The fourth option is, okay, I will, by manasa and vacha, I will only do good things, or rather I will not do bad things. I will not do bad things so that I will not get kilbisham. Then again you are stating the obvious. It is very, very, very well known even to a child. If you don't do a bad thing, you will not get papam. You are not saying anything new. So in this particular context, the only meaning which is applicable is as discussed by me. That is what Shankaracharya is saying. As discussed by or as presented by me. That is the only meaning which fits in here. So that is what he is saying. We have to read from this particular line. Let us read. Yada tu sharira sthiti-matra prayojanam shariram karma abhipretam bhavet tada drushta prayojanam karma vidhi pratishedha shastra gamyam sharira vangmano nirvartyam anyad akurvan taireva शरीरादिभिः शरीर स्थितिमात्र प्रयोजनम केवल शब्द प्रयोगात् अहं करोमि इत्यभिमानवर्जितः शरीरादि चेष्टामात्रं लोकदृष्ट्या कुर्वन् न आपनोति किल्बिषम. So this is what is the established meaning. That is what Shankaracharya is going to say. Yada tu means on the other hand. So all these four ways of interpretation, they don't fit in here. So on the other hand, when you say that it is only sharira sthiti matra prayojanam, sthiti is maintenance, sharira sthiti matra prayojanam, the objective is merely to maintain the body. When that is so, then shariram karma abhipretam bhavet. When you, by the use of that word shariram karma, when you mean only this much, then only it will make sense. Then drushta prayojanam vidhi pratishedha karyam sharira vangmano nirvartyam anyad akurvan. So which means not doing anything by any of these senses, that is sharira, vak, manasu. Trikarana. We have got three tools, that is trikarana is manasa, vacha, karmana. By any of these things, you should not do any other thing except activity relating to maintenance of the body. So that is what it says. Except activity relating to maintenance of the body, you are not supposed to do anything by manasa, vacha or karmana, which will become a subject of this vidhi pratishedha shastram, which may be permitted, which may be not permitted. Then drushta prayojanam, it may have some benefit which is seen or some benefit which is unseen. So any of these karmas you are not supposed to do. Then akurvan taireva shariradhibihi sharira sthitimattra prayojanam. Then kevala shabda prayogat. Then what does the word kevala mean? The kevala means only. Then what does it mean? Aham karomi iti abhimana varjitaha. Shariram kevalam. The body is merely acting. You see, shariram kevalam karma. The body is merely acting. That is what we have to see. Then what is the situation in the case of you and me? In the case of you and me, when you are doing something or when I am doing something, I feel I am doing this. You feel you are doing. So in the case of a Jnani, his body is going through certain movements mechanically, in a mechanical manner. He is a totally non-actor. So then he does not have this feeling aham karomi iti abhimana varjitaha. Abhimana is that I feeling. Aham karomi, that feeling varjitaha. He is devoid of that I feeling. Abhimana varjitaha. Then shariradi cheshta matram Lokadrushtya kurvan. So Lokadrushtya, in the eyes of the world, so all other people who look at him, so they see him, they look at him, okay, this chap is doing something, he is also doing some karma. So Lokadrushtya, he seems to be doing some karma. Because a sannyasi, he goes to a village and then he stays there in some temple or something like that, and then he goes and takes bhiksha from your house or bhiksha from my house. So so he seems to be doing some karma. He is also doing some yachanadikam karma. So then he is also telling something, he is also saying some good words. So all these things that he is doing. So by doing this, the Lokadrushtya, that is in the eyes of the world, he seems to be doing something, but then Lokadrushtya kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. He does not attain any type of that fruit of that action. Kilbisham is, it can be good or bad. Good or bad are both undesirable in the case of a Jnani. Good also is undesirable, bad also is undesirable. Bad necessarily is definitely is undesirable. Okay. Then evam bhutasya papa shabdavachya kilbisha praptya sambhavat kilbisham samsaram na apnoti jnanagni dagdha sarvakarmatvat apratibandhena muchyata eva iti purvokta samyak darshana phalanuvadaha eva yeshaha. Purvokta samyak darshana phalanuvadaha. Very good. Okay. Evam bhutasya means of such a person. Evam bhutaha means such a person. Yes, of such a person. Evam bhutasya is of such a person. Papa shabdavachya kilbisha praptya sambhavat. So then this kilbisham, whether it is dharma or adharma, both are kilbisham. Dharma is a gold chain, adharma is a barbed wire. So both are undesirable. Papa shabdavachya kilbisha praptya sambhavat. So this kilbisha prapti, that is attainment of this kilbisham, either good or bad, it is impossible. It does not arise in this man's case. Then asambhavat kilbisham samsaram na apnoti. What is the meaning of kilbisham? Shankaracharya says kilbisham is samsaram. Samsaram is transmigration. Samsaram means not having wife, children, etc. Transmigration. The very fact that the man samsarati, the root is sru, sarati. Sarati means moves. Samsarati, again and again moves, again and again moves. So he rotates from body to body and body to body. That is samsaranam. So samsaram, that is kilbisham. The meaning of kilbisham is samsaranam. And samsaranam is possible whether you do good or bad. You do some yajna and you do all these good things, then again you get another life. You do bad things also, you get another life, because you have to reap the consequences of all those bad deeds. So that is it. Then why does he not get this kilbisham? Jnanagni dagdha sarva karmatvat. In the earlier line we have seen Jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha, we saw that. So all his activities are burnt away. All the fruit of that action have been burnt away by that fire of jnanam. Jnanam is compared to fire. That knowledge, self-knowledge is compared to a fire which burns or which destroys all the seeds of this karma. Karma phala, it totally destroys. So because of that, he does not get that samsara. Then apratibandhena muchyata eva. Apratibandhena, there is no obstacle, there is no hindrance. Pratibandha is an obstacle. Pratibandha means obstacle. Apratibandhena means without any obstacle. Without any obstacle, that man gets released. Muchyate eva. Muchyate eva means same muchil dhatu, that is moksha. He attains moksha without any obstacle. Because this punya or papa are the obstacles. Punyam or papam is an obstacle. Punyam also is an obstacle. We have to see that. Then because there is total absence of any sort of obstacle, he attains moksha. So that is it. Muchyate eva iti purvokta samyak darshana phala anuvada eva isha. So this is only a reiteration of what has been told earlier. That's what Shankaracharya is saying. Purvokta samyak darshana phala anuvada. Anuvada means reiteration. It is only a reiteration of what has been said about the fruit of samyak darshana. Samyak darshana is proper realization. So that is it. Is it clear? Okay. Next, evam Shariram kevalam karma ityasya arthasya parigrahe niravadyam bhavati. So in this manner, if you accept the meaning as told by us, as given by us, karma ityasya arthasya parigrahe, that is, when you accept such a word, when you accept such a meaning, then niravadyam bhavati, the whole sentence becomes faultless. Everything becomes coherent and faultless. Niravadyam is without any mistake, that is faultless. Then this is the 21st shloka is over. Then there is a small avatarika for 22nd shloka. Let us read. Tyakta sarva parigrahasya yatehe annadehe sharira sthiti hetoho parigrahasya abhavat yacanadina sharira sthitau kartavyatayam praptayam ayachitam asanklaptam upapannam yadruchaya ityadina vachanena anugnatam yatehe sharira sthiti hetoho annadehe praptidvaram avishkurvan aha. So okay, so he says, this gentleman whom we talked about is somebody who is tyakta sarva parigraha. Parigraha is accepting things, accumulating things. He is having a house, he is having some sofas, he is having some furniture, he is having some fridge, this, that, and all these accumulations which we make over a period of time, they are all the parigraha. So this gentleman is somebody who is not having any parigraha. So he has to maintain his body. So tyakta sarva parigrahasya yatehe, yati. So this man, he is trying for moksha. He is in that, he is a yati, means yama. He has attained that yama, that is total control, and he is in that jnana nishtha. So such a man, annadehe parigrahasya abhavat, then he has no parigraha, which means he has no sort of accumulation in his house. So parigrahasya abhavat, in the absence of any such parigraha, abhava is absence. In the absence of any such accumulation of wealth or accumulation of property which will just give you ready-made food, if there is parigraha, there will be some ready-made meal. There will be food available, there is a wife, there is a servant, and then there is a food which is readily available. So for this gentleman, there is no food readily available. Then yacanadina sharira sthitau kartavyatayam praptayam. Then what befalls on him? So what befalls on him is, he has to necessarily seek food elsewhere. He has to seek food or take food elsewhere just for maintenance of his body. For the maintenance of his body, he has to seek food elsewhere. You see, this shloka is something which is a really, it basically churns our, say let us say heart or heart, because you can see the most difficult type of vrata or duty rather, which was there for the sannyasi. A sannyasi is a gentleman who is not supposed to take any parigraha. He is not supposed to accept anything. He is not supposed to accumulate anything. He is supposed to be moving all around. And there are also certain guidelines as to how to take bhiksha. So I suppose I know that there is a good function in your house, Satyanarayana Vratam you are doing. So it is I can't straight away come to your house and have nice food in your house. And tomorrow there is somebody else who is doing Satyanarayana Vratam, I will go to his house tomorrow. It is not like that. So in fact, the commentaries given by this Anandagiri and also by Madhusudana Saraswati, they also quote some shlokas. As to, they give some guidelines as to how this yati or a sannyasi has to accept bhiksha, how he has to go about, what he should do and what he should not do. Of course, I will not read all those things. I will just read one shloka from this Madhusudana Saraswati as we just go along. But this is something like this is something like a bhiksha shastram. This is something, a shastram relating to bhiksha, because there are so many rules and some do's and don'ts in the case of a yati. How to go about, how he should not entertain any scope, how he should not give any scope for say any sort of selfish feeling. So he is supposed to move in such a selfless manner. So that is the picture here. So tyakta sarva parigrahasya yatehe. So parigrahasya abhavat yachanadina sharira sthitau kartavyatayam praptayam. So what has befallen on him is that he is forced to beg. Sharira sthitau kartavyatayam praptayam. That is what has prapti to him. Prapti means it has befallen him. It has come to him. Such is or rather it is necessitated. This begging is something which is necessitated by his non-accumulation of wealth, let us say. So then there is a rule, ayachitam asankluptam upapannam yadruchaya. So Shankaracharya himself is quoting one rule, do's and don'ts. I was saying, ayachitam. Ayachitam is that which is unsought for. Ayachitam. Yachana is asking. Ayachitam is something which is unasked for. That is a yati. In olden days, these yatis or sannyasis, they used to go and then they used to sit in some temple. So naturally some gruhastha would see him, because the gruhasthas who go to the temple, they see him. And then the gruhasthas themselves, they carry some food and give to him. These gruhasthas themselves, they just, to our village some yati has come. In fact, this system, it used to be there in villages. If you see some very, very old films, about 50, 60-year-old films, some Telugu films also, you find that there is a yati who is sitting, and then villagers, they just go and give him some food. There are such scenes even in some very old films you can see. So like that, ayachitam. So this man is not even supposed to go and beg. Then asankluptam. Asankluptam is, that is something which is not something which is pre-planned. It is not as though he is doing something in a pre-planned manner. Asankluptam is, there is something not pre-planned. Upapannam yadruchaya. Yadruchaya means something which is by sheer coincidence. By sheer coincidence, upapannam, that just which has befallen him, that which has just come or which is just received without any sort of expectation and without any planning and without asking. So that is the thing. So ityadina vachanena, this is from some bodhayana smriti. It is somebody, some bodhayana smriti. Ityadina vachanena anugnatam yatehe sharira sthiti hetoho annadeha prapti dwaram. So this annadi prapti dwaram, that is the way or the means by which he will get food. So the means, or rather the manner in which he has to attain, he has to get food, is also prescribed in such words, in so many places, by so many sentences, so many types of smritis and whatnot. Ityadina vachanena anugnatam is permitted. What is permitted? Annadehe prapti dwaram. So he has to be, yati is not supposed to die, a sannyasi is not supposed to die. So something is permitted to him. What is it permitted? That is ayachitam, asankluptam, etc. is permitted. Then prapti dwaram avishkurvan aha yadruchha iti. So that is why this new shloka is coming. That the present shloka is coming. So that is the avatarika. Let us read this shloka. Yadruchhalabha santushto dvandvatito vimatsarah samasiddhavasiddhau cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. So, okay, here yadruchhalabha santushtaha. This santosha is one thing which a man has to have. Everybody should have santosha. Santosha is happiness. Tosha, the word tosha is happiness. Some is an upasarga, santosha. One who has a santosha is santushtaha. Santushtaha. So tushti. Tushti also is a word which we commonly use. Santushta is somebody who is contented. By what? Yadruchya labha santushtaha. Yadruchaya yat labhyate tena santushtaha. Just by sheer not asking anything, not asking for anything, whatever is attained, whatever is obtained, he is santushta, he is contented by that. So that is what is yadruchya labha santushtaha. Then dvandvatitaha. We know what are these dvandvas. Dvandvas are the dualities, sukha, dukkha, shita, ushna, etc. Not only shita, ushna, etc. relate to the body. That is heat and cold, they relate to the body. There are several things which relate to the mind, raga, dvesha. There are things which is desirable or undesirable. There is something pleasure and pain. There are so many things which are there. So a man, he has to be a witness to all these things. He has to be one dvandvatita. When will he become a dvandvatita? We have seen in the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, how a person becomes a dvandvatita. that Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha, etc., etc., we saw how a man goes beyond, or rather transcends these dualities. How can a man transcend dualities? Only by attaining proper darshana, only by having proper vision, proper understanding of things, proper understanding that he is that eternal Atman who is untouched by all these dualities. Only then he will go above, he will rise above those dualities. Isn't it? So, Dvandvatitaha, Vimatsaraha. Matsara is envy. Matsaryam is envy. Matsaraha is one who is having that envy is Matsaraha. Vi plus Matsaraha. Vi is an upasarga. Vi means without. Vi actually means Vigataha Matsaraha. Vigataha Matsaraha. Vigatam Matsaryam Yasmatsa Vimatsaraha. Matsaryam I think is a neutral word. Vigatam. Vigata is, it is gone. It has disappeared from him. It is not as though he has forcibly suppressed it. It has disappeared from him. When does it disappear? Only by Jnana. Only by Jnana, all the negative things, they disappear. Slowly they just disappear. So, Vimatsaraha, Vigataha, Vigatam, Matsaram, Yasmatsa, Vimatsaraha. Then, Samaha, Siddhau, Asiddhaucha. Then, Siddhi and Asiddhi. Siddhi means attainment. Here in this particular man's case, attainment of what? Food. Let us say food, because he is not doing any karma. He is not doing any karma. If he is doing some yaga or something, then only it means siddhi. The siddhi word becomes applicable. Asiddhi is non-fulfillment of a particular action. Siddhi is fulfillment of a particular action. Sadhana, the word sadhana we know. Sadhana means. Siddhi is what you attain by that sadhana is siddhi. Then siddhi and asiddhi. Asiddhi means non-attainment of what you have aimed at, non-attainment of what you have targeted. So that is asiddhi. Then siddhi and asiddhi, he is neutral to both of them. That is samaha, siddhau, asiddhau cha. Samaha means he is equal. Samaha, siddhau, asiddhau cha. Krutva api na nibadhyate. Krutva api. Though he is engaged in that action, but in this particular case, what is the action he is engaged in? He is only accepting some bhiksha. Apart from that, there is no other thing he is doing. Or he may be saying some good words. Somebody comes and asks him something about Brahma, something about some dharma sandeha he will ask. And then this man will be telling something about that dharma sandeha. So that is it. Krutva api na nibadhyate. He does not get bound. Badhyate, this ni is only an upasarga. Ni plus badhyate, nibadhyate. So that is, you understood the sentence? Sloka, overall sloka. Yadrucha labha santushtaha, one who is contented. Yadrucha labha santushtaha. Dvandva plus atitaha, dvandva atitaha. Vi plus matsaraha, vimatsaraha. Samaha, siddhau plus asiddhau becomes siddhava siddhau. That is a sandhi there. Then krutva api na nibadhyate. So that is the sloka. Let us read the bhashyam. यदृच्छालाभ संतुष्टः अप्रार्थितोपनतो लाभः अप्रार्थित उपनतः. So you have to when you combine, you have to say अप्रार्थितोपनतो. You should not say अप्रार्थितोपनतो. There should not be any gap. अप्रार्थितोपनतो लाभः यदृच्छा लाभः तेन संतुष्टः संजात अलम प्रत्ययः. Okay, the same words he is explaining. Yadrucha means aprarthita upanatah labhah. Aprarthita, unasked for. Prarthana, we know prarthana is asking. Aprarthita is something which is unasked for. Upanatah is something which has been brought by them. Suppose a saint or sage is sitting in a temple, in the premises of a temple. So the villagers see him. So somebody goes and says, Swami, you take this food. So something like that, the Bhakti, the Bhakta Janas, they carry some food to him. So that is what it means. Upanataha, something which has been anitaha. Labhaha means not profit and loss. Labha is something which has been obtained, which has been got in that manner. That is what is called labha. That is what is yadrucha labha. Tena santushtaha. By that, this gentleman is happy. By that, this sage is happy. Sanjata alam pratyayaha. This is again a very beautiful expression which we have seen earlier. Alam pratyayaha. Alam is enough. Alam pratyaya. Pratyaya is that word alam, that word enough. it has arisen in you. Suppose I say enough. So that enough pratyaya has arisen in me. That is sanjata alam pratyaya. Alam pratyaya it is born in him. Sanjata means that which is born. Sanjataha. So that alam pratyaya is born in him. What does it mean? So this man has attained a stage where he is able to say enough. Not enough is enough. Enough is enough means another thing. Enough is something different. So he has attained such a state of enlightenment where he is able to say enough. That is sanjata alam pratyaya. That alam pratyaya has arisen in his mind. So he is not after acquiring all types of gadgets. He is not after acquiring so many things, and he is not after acquiring all types of acquisitions. So that is the person. Sanjata alam pratyaya. Dvandvatitaha. Dvandvaihi. Shitoshnadivihi. Hanyamano. Avishanna chittaha. Dvandvatitaha. Okay, so this gentleman, he is dvandvaihi. What are these dualities? Shita, Ushna, Adibhihi. Shita, Ushna, that is heat, cold and heat. Adi, by the word Adi, etc., we mean Raga, Dvesha, something relating to the mind, body, mind, all things. So Raga, Dvesha, then pain and pleasure, and so many other things. All these things, he is above. Sitoshnadivihi Hanyamanaha, though he is being attacked or though he is being assaulted by all these things, Avishanna Chittaha, this man looks at them as a Sakshi. He does not get Vishada. One who does not get Vishada is Vishanna, Avishanna. Vishanna is one who gets Vishada. These words we have to see. Vishada, we know Arjuna's despondency we saw in the very first chapter. Arjuna Vishada Yogaha. So Vishada, one who gets Vishada is Vishanna. That is one who he just collapses in his chair. Vishada actually means just collapsing. Vishada, Sidati means just sit. Vishada is just collapsing. Vishanna is just he gets shocked, shell shocked, and then so with all these dualities he is not say touched. In the sense he does not get affected by all these things. He looks at them as a witness. He is a sort of witness to all these things, or they just come and go by. Then Avishanna Chittaha Dvandvatitaha Uchyate. Then I was saying about Madhusudana Vyakhya. Madhusudana Saraswati, he writes one good line about how a sannyasi has to take bhiksha. I will read this shloka. Nacha utpata nimittabhyam na nakshatranga vidyaya. Nacha utpata nimittabhyam na nakshatranga vidyaya. Na anushasana bhiksham lipseta karhichit. Suppose a sannyasi or somebody goes for food. Sannyasi goes for food. Then this man should not frighten people. Nacha utpata nimittabhyam. Oh, if you don't do this puja, you will go to this Shani is in so and so house. If you don't do this puja, you will go to this. You will attain this sort of something bad will happen. Some great calamity will happen. That is utpata. Utpata is some calamity. Utpata nimittabhyam. That is, because of this Shani is here or Rahu is here, you have to go to Sri Kalahasti and do some Rahu Ketu Puja. Rahu Ketu Puja is a new invention. It was not there a few years ago. We have forgotten Lord Shiva, and then we are also only doing Rahu Ketu Puja. So we have forgotten the Tattvam there, and we are doing only some peripheral activity. Rahu Ketu Puja is a peripheral activity there. The main puja is Shiva. Shiva is something who is supposed to give us Jnana. Shiva is supposed to be the god for Jnana. So leaving Shiva, we are doing some Rahu Ketu Puja. So like that, Utpata Nimittabhyam, that must have been invented by one of our brilliant chaps. So he is a sannyasi, he is not supposed to do this bhikshatanam by frightening people, saying that, oh, this calamity will happen to you if you don't do this. Na nakshatranga vidyaya, the stars. Oh, these stars, these stars are like this, your Jatakam. Stars means Jatakam, your horoscope. So your horoscope is, so okay, in this place, these things are there, so and so Jatakam, this particular nakshatra is not good, and then this particular nakshatra is not matching. So by saying that, he should not influence people and then get food. You see? Na nimittabhyam, na nakshatranga vidyaya, na anushasana vadabhyam. He is not supposed to do any discussion relating to Anushasana Vada. Anushasana is administration, about politics. Talking about politics, let us say. Anushasana actually is politics. Anushasana, in Mahabharata, you get this a huge parva, a huge book called Anushasana Parva. There, Bhishma tells, say, Dharmaraja about how a ruler has to rule. So there are, of course, many other things also there. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and all these things, they are also mentioned there. Not only administration, because these are all necessary for administration also. Dharma, Artha, Kama, all these things are necessary for administration also. So all those things are told there. So Anushasana Vadabhyam, he is not supposed to talk about politics and then Anushasana and whatnot. So Bhiksham Lipseta Karhichit. A sannyasi, he is not supposed to desire Bhiksha by indulging in these things. So that is how there was some strict code of conduct for these people. Then Vimatsaraha, Vigata Matsaraha, Nirvaira Buddhihi. That is Vimatsara, I explained. Vigata Matsaraha. That is, Matsaryam has disappeared from him. Matsaryam, that is envy, jealousy. Jealousy is what? When somebody is doing well, I feel jealous. That is jealousy, simple. Then this feeling of jealousy, etc., they do not arise in him. Nirvaira buddhihi, that is, jealousy also leads to enmity, vaira buddhi. So this man, because he is not at all jealous with anybody, he does not entertain any idea of enmity with anyone. So that is it. Samaha Tulyaha Yadruchaya Labhasyapi Siddhau Asiddhau Cha Ya Evam Bhuto Yatihi Annadehe Sharira Sthiti Hetor Labhalabhayoho Samaha Harsha Vishada Varjitaha Karmadau Akarmadi Darshi Yatha Bhuta Atma Darshana Nishtaha. Oh, the sentence is still going on. Let us stop here. Okay. Where is it? Samaha Tulyaha Yadruchaya Labhasyapi. So, Yadruchaya Labhasyapi Samaha. That is, so though he is attaining something which is unasked for, even there he is totally neutral. Sama means neutral. One day he may get some good food, one day he may not get good food, one day he may not get food at all. So in all these things, in all these contingencies, he is totally neutral, he does not react. He does not react to things. Tulyaha yadruchaya labhasyapi siddhau asiddhau cha. Whether it is obtained or not obtained, he is totally neutral, he is not bothered about it. Evam bhutaha yatihi, a person of this type. Evam bhutaha means one who is of this nature. One who is of this nature, yatihi. Annadehe sharira sthiti hetor labha labhayoho. Whether this sharira sthiti hetu, annam is something which is necessary for maintenance of the body. Even there, whether it is attained or not, even there, whether it is attained or not, labha alabhayoho, whether it is attained or not, then samaha, that is, he is equal, neutral. Means what does it mean? Harsha vishada varjitaha. If you get some laddu and jalebi, he will not get happy. If he gets something, some stupid, say something where there is a lot of mirchi and also he will not get vishada. So whether he gets good or bad, so he will neither become happy nor will he be cursing the householder. This fellow has brought such a food, he will not be cursing like that. Then karmadau akarmadi darshi. So here again Shankaracharya is qualifying, saying that so he is a person who is seeing akarma in karma. So he may be doing some bodily activity, but then he is going through those motions, but he is actually not having that aham feeling. So that is why he is able to see akarma in that karma. Then yatha bhuta atma darshana nishtaha. Yatha bhuta atma darshana nishtaha. Atma darshana nishtaha means one who is stable in the darshana or in the vision of that Brahman, whose vision of Brahman is very stable. He is not distracted, he is not diverted from his knowledge of Brahman. Yatha bhuta. Yatha bhuta means as it is, the reality of that Brahman, the real tattvam. When they say tattvam, actually means thisness or thatness. Tat means that. Tattvam is the nature of that. Shortly, though the English word thatness is not there, thatness and thisness they are used in our say translations by various writers. So the thisness of a thing. So yatha bhuta, that is the reality of that Atma, that vision is there. He is very stable in that vision. He is not shaken from that vision. Then this gentleman, so let us read. Sharira sthitimattra prayojane bhikshatanadi karmani shariradi nirvartyam naiva kinchit karomyaham guna guneshu vartante ityevam sada samparichakshanaha atmanah kartrutva pashyan naiva kinchit bhikshatanadikam karma karoti lokavyavahara samanya darshanena tu samya, not samya, samanya. Okay, samya also may be okay. Laukikaihi aropita kartrutve आरोपित कर्तृत्वे भिक्षाटनादौ कर्मणि कर्ता भवति. Okay, then this, where is it starting? Okay, sharira sthitimatra prayojane bhikshatanadi karmani. So this is again a repetition only. Sharira matra prayojane, the act bhikshatanadi karma, that action or activity that is say obtaining bhiksha, etc., which is meant basically for sustenance of the body, maintenance of this body. Then sharira the nirvartyam, this activity is done by the body, this is again done by the body. Then while going through that, he is having this feeling, naiva kinchit karomyaham. So the naiva kinchit karomyaham is, has it come already?
No,
not yet. Yeah, 5th chapter. So this shloka is going to come. Naiva kinchit karomi is 5th chapter. Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrunvan sprushyan jigran. That 5th shloka, 5th adhyaya shloka is just quoting. Naiva kinchit karomi means I am not the doer. I am not doing anything. I am a witness. Then guna guneshu vartante. This shloka we got. Guna guneshu vartante. What is the reference?
3rd chapter 28.
Yeah, 3rd chapter 3-28. So guna guneshu vartante. So this body is made of some gunas. The body is a result of these 3 gunas. We know that this body-mind complex is a result of these 3 gunas, which are the products of this Maya. And then because these 3 gunas are there in the body, these 3 gunas, they are corresponding with the external gunas. So for example, I need some food. I need some food in order to maintain this body, which is a complex of these 3 gunas. And the food which I eat, that again is having or containing those gunas only. So these 3 gunas are going after whatever are the corresponding gunas only. So this is basically for maintenance of the body only. So he is a man, this sannyasi is a man who is in that state of awareness. So that is it, that is what is mentioned. Naiva kinchit karomyaham guna guneshu vartante ityevam sada samparichakshanaha. Samparichakshanaha means one who always looks at it in this manner. Parichakshanaha, one who is seeing like this. Samparichakshanaha, sam is an upasarga, pari also is an upasarga. Samparichakshanaha, he is always seeing things like this. He is always viewing things like this. Then atmanaha kartrutva abhavam pashyan. So he is also seeing kartrutva abhava. He is seeing that the absence of doership in himself. Absence of doership. Kartrutva abhavam is absence of doership. He is seeing, pashyan. Then naiva karmani karta bhavati. This karmani karta bhavati is the last few words. Then naiva karta bhavati. Then what type of activity? Naiva kinchit bhikshatanadikam karma karoti. He is not doing anything, any such thing. Loka vyavahara samanya darshanena tu. Loka vyavahara samanya darshanena means, if you see that general loka vyavahara, how people go about in the world. Loka vyavahara is how people go about in the world, the general behavior of people in the world. If you see if you just judge him by the general behavior of the people, then he seems to be doing something. Laukikaihi aropita kartrutve. So this aropita kartrutve, that is, the doership is something which is attributed to him by the people. Okay, this sannyasi is there. he has taken some food from this house of this gentleman, and then this man has given some good food today, and then this sannyasi, he went to his house and then he gave some lecture there on something Ramayana or Mahabharata. So like that, this kartrutvam or doership is attributed to him by the people. But then when it comes to him, he is himself not a doer. Aropita kartrutve bhikshatanadav karmani karta bhavati. Naiva, that naiva has to be brought here, applied here. Naiva karta bhavati. So in that bhikshatanadi karma, he does not become the karta. He is not the karta or doer in that all these activities. Then भिक्षाटनादि चेष्टास्वपि अकर्तृत्वाद्यनुसन्धानमेव अच्छा your book does not have it. Okay, this particular small portion is probably it is not mentioned. I will read out. भिक्षाटनादि चेष्टास्वपि अकर्तृत्वाद्यनुसन्धानमेव विदुषः. This line is not there. Okay, it doesn't matter. In all these bhikshatanadi chestaswapi. So in all activity, even including activities like bhikshatanam, including activities like mendicancy, then akartrutvad yanusandhanameva vidushaha. In the case of a jnani, akartrutvad yanusandhanam. He is always thinking or he is always aware that he is not the doer. Akartrutva anusandhanam. Anusandhanam is he is in that state of mind, to be in that state of mind. So he is having that attitude, he is say in that frame of mind, or he is in that understanding. So that is what it means. Then here there is a small thing which I want to say. This shloka is interpreted as referring to a sannyasi. By Shankaracharya, this shloka is interpreted as referring to sannyasi only. But there is another commentator called Nilakantha. Nilakantha says, okay, it applies to sannyasi, but it can also apply to a grihastha because of the words like yadruchala vasantushtaha, then vimatsaraha. Vimatsara in the case of a jnani, it does not arise at all. Then samaha siddhau asiddhaucha. When you do some yajna karma, then there is what is called siddhi. Then if the yajna goes on smoothly, and then if the yajna phalam may be there, then sometimes yajna may not go on smoothly, there can be some disturbances, there is a yajna asiddhi. Then in all these things, one who is beyond these dvandvas, one who is a jnani sometimes does karma. A jnani can be a grihastha. Nilakantacharya probably was a grihastha. So maybe that is why he has also given some benefit of doubt to grihastha. This can also apply to a grihastha who is a jnani. So of course, jnani is something which is common. Shankaracharya is referring to sannyasi, obviously who is a jnani. This Nilakanta says even a grihastha who is a jnani can be taken in this shloka. That is what he says. Shraddhakrut, so here, Shraddhakrut satyavadi cha grihasthopi vimuchyate. Bhashye tu ayam shlokaha sannyasi paratvenaiva vyakhyataha. Shankaracharya has interpreted this shloka only referring to a sannyasi, but then grihasthopi vimuchyate, even a grihastha can be taken here. So that is what it means. I feel that there is nothing wrong. It can refer to both people. Then let us see where are we? Swanubhavena tu Shastra Pramanadi Janitena Akartaiva Sa evam Paradhyaropita Kartrutvam Sharira Sthidimatra Prayojanam Bhikshatanadikam Karma Krutvapi Na Nibadhyate Bandhahetoho Karmanaha Sahetukasya Jnanagnina Dagdhatvat Ityanuvada Eva Yeshaha. So this is also we have seen the same thing which is being reiterated. What is it? Swanubhavena tu. So when it comes to his own mindset, Swanubhavena, when it comes to his own feeling or his own experience or his own anubhava, his own feeling or his own attitude is that Shastra Pramana Janitena because his attitude is something which is born out of this Shastra Pramana, which is born out of this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, then Akartaiva. So by all that, he is a non-doer, he is a non-actor. Then sa evam paradhyaropita kartrutvam. This kartrutvam or doership is something which is attributed to him by others. Para adhyaropita kartrutvam. This kartrutvam paraihi adhyaropitam. It is attributed to him by others. Then sharira sthitimattra prayojanam, we know bhikshatanadikam karma krutvapi na nibadhyate. He is not bound by any of these actions. Bandha hetoh karmanaha sahetukasya. Bandha hetoh karmanaha. This bandha karma is bandha hetu. Karma is binding in nature. But this karma is something which is already jnanagnina dagdhatvat. It has already been burnt to ashes. It has been burnt to ashes by his jnanagni, by the fire of his knowledge. Ityanuvada eva esha. Anuvada means it is only a reiteration. So that is what he says. Then this 22nd shloka is over. This 23rd shloka, there is a small avatarika. Let us read. Tyaktva karma phala sangam ityanena shlokena yah prarabdha karmasan yada nishkriyatma brahmatma darshana sampannah syat tada tasya atmanah kartru karma prayojana abhavadarshinaha कर्म परित्यागे प्राप्ते कुतश्चिन् निमित्तात् तद असंभवे सति पूर्ववत् तस्मिन् कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः इति कर्माभावः प्रदर्शितः यस्य एवं कर्माभावः दर्शितः तस्यैव गतसंगस्य इति. Okay, now this is the avatarika for this 23rd shloka. Okay, this tyaktva karma phala sangam ityanena, then this shloka is okay applying to this shloka is about a jnani who is for some reason, this also we have seen earlier, a jnani who for some reason he is unable to come out of his pravrutti. That is a king, a saintly king. He is a jnani, but he has got some duty which is enjoined on him. In spite of being a jnani, he has to discharge some of his royal duties. That applies to King Janaka, Lord Rama and all these people, a host of kings whom we saw, whose names we saw earlier. Then, let us see this. Tyaktva karma phala sangam ityanena shlokena. By this shloka, Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatrukto nirashrayah, we saw this shloka earlier. One who has given up this karma phala sangha, that is for this 20th shloka. One who has given up desire for this karma phala. Then prarabdha karma san. One who prarabdha karma is somebody who has started in that path of action. Prarabdha karma is different. Prarabdha karma is different. Prarabdha karma means it is referring to karma. Prarabdha karma, you understand this grammar. So, prarabdha karma means some action which has just commenced. That is prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is one who is having that prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is somebody who is engaged in that prarabdha karma. So prarabdha karma refers to a person. Prarabdha karma refers to activity. So this we have to see. Here it is prarabdha karmasan. Yaha prarabdha karmasan. One who is engaged in that activity. Who is in that path of action or who is going on according to some prarabdha karma. Then yada nishkriya brahmatma darshana sampanna syat tada tasya atmanah kartru karma prayojana bhava darshanah. So this gentleman, he is somebody who is a nishkriya brahmatma darshana sampanna. So he is having that vision. Nishkriya brahmatma darshana sampanna. He is having that vision that atma is something which is nishkriya, where there is no action in atman. Then nishkriya brahma, then that brahman is nothing else apart from me. So he also knows that that supreme brahman is my own nature, or my own nature is that of that supreme brahman. And then because both are one and the same, there is no action in me also. So that sort of vision, that sort of understanding, that darshanam is vision or understanding. Sampannaha. So he is endowed. Sampannaha. He is endowed with such understanding, or he has attained that understanding. Then sampannaha syat tada tasya atmanaha karma kartru prayojana abhavadarshinaha. Then somebody who is also seeing that there is no personal benefit for me. A king is engaged in he is discharging his royal duties. He does not have any need to swindle some money and put it in some Swiss bank. So if he is having some such desire, you are not talking of such a man. We are not talking of such a man who wants to swindle some money and then put it in some huge projects in India or somewhere in Swiss banks or some other some other havens. So we are talking about a Jnani who is a ruler. So kartru karma prayojana abhava darshinaha. So there is no karta, there is no actor, there is no karma, there is no prayojana. Number one is he is doing for loka sangraha only. He is doing only for social cohesion. He is discharging his duty which is enjoined on him. But he is not having any swaprayojana. He is not having any selfish desire. Swaprayojana abhavadarshinaha karma parityage prapte. Strictly speaking, he is supposed to do karma parityaga. Karma parityage prapte means that is something which he is supposed to do. Karma parityaga is something which is supposed to do. That is what is the logical consequence. The logical consequence for any man who is a Jnani. What is the logical consequence? The logical consequence is you have to slowly give up actions. Isn't it? So karma parityaga is something which is praptam. That is the logical consequence. So when such a consequence has arisen, but still for some reason, purvavat tasmin karmani kutaschit nimittat tad asambhave. For some reason, it is not possible to give it up. Kutaschit nimittat. Because of some reason. Kutaschit nimittat. For some reason, because of some reason. Tad asambhave. That karma tyaga is something which is not possible for him. Then purvavat tasmin karmani abhipravrittopi. So purvavat, as before, he is engaged, he is continuing in that karma. He is continuing to do that royal karma or any other karma. For example, in contrast to that king, let us take that Dharma Vyadha of Mahabharata. Dharma Vyadha is that butcher, that meat seller whom we see in Mahabharata. So he is also a Jnani. And because of that prarabdha karma, he is doing that meat selling business. So this meat selling business he has been doing as a prarabdha karma, and then he is continuing in that. He is continuing in that, though he is a Jnani. So like that. So karmanya apipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. So that gentleman, he is not doing anything. That means he is not an actor. That is, naiva kinchit karoti means that fruit of that action is not touching him. The fruit of action, that karma phalam or kilbisham, whatever it is not tainting this person. Then, naiva kinchit karoti saha iti cha karma bhavaha pradarshitaha. Yasya evam karma bhavaha darshitaha tasyaiva. So in the case of such a person, this particular shloka is being commenced. A person who is having a karma bhava, that is absence of karma. That means he is a non-actor, but then he is acting. He is engaged in some duty. So let us read this shloka. 2 minutes. Huh? Okay, we will read this shloka. Gata sangasya muktasya Jnana chetasah Yajnaya charatah karma Samagram praviliyate. So he is using the word yajna again. Sage Vyasa, he is using the word, or Lord Krishna is using the word yajna again. Gata sangasya muktasya Jnana avasthita chetasah. Jnana avasthita chetasah Yajnaya acharatah karma samagram praviliyate. So we see this shloka, as we just discussed, this is about a Jnani who is not able to take up full-fledged sannyasa for some reason. For example, a Kshatriya, he is not supposed to take up sannyasa. Only a Brahmin is supposed to take up sannyasa. Somebody else is not supposed to take up sannyasa. For some reason, he is continuing his duty. Then, this shloka is about a Jnani who is in pravrutti marga, who is engaged in the path of action. So this in Bhagavad Gita, we should always see, the context. That is, Lord Krishna, he was speaking to Arjuna. We should not think that the Gita is a very confused book and all that. This is something which is something in the form of a dialogue. Krishna and Arjuna were speaking to each other. Then Krishna, probably when he uttered these things, in his tone, probably he conveyed the meaning. So in the case of this fellow, it is like this. In the case of this man, it is like this. So through his tone, he must have conveyed. So that tone, we have to catch it by the Vyakhyanam of Shankaracharya or some other, mostly by Shankaracharya, and the other people also have broadly followed that, Vyakhya, whether it is Nilakantha or Madhusudana and all these people, they have also followed the thing. So this shloka, whenever you see a shloka, we have to see as to whom it is referring to, Okay, this shloka is about the Jnani who is in the path of action. Gatasangasya muktasya jnana avasthita chetasaha yajnaya acharatah karma samagram pravilide. It means it is giving some adjectives for the person in whose case he is giving the adjectives of a person in whose case this karma is not going to taint. This karma is going to be praviliyate, pravilapa. Karma pravilapam is something which is just disappearing. It is just melting away. It is just disappearing. It is just going into thin air, let us say. So anyway, what are those adjectives? Gata sangaha. So at sangha is attachment. Gata sangha is that sangha or attachment has dropped off from him. Sangha is that thing is dropped off from him. Those that a sense of attachment has just disappeared from him. Then gata sangasya is Shashti Vibhakti. Muktaha means one who has attained that moksha, that is one who is in that jnana state. Muktasya is Shashti Vibhakti. Then Jnanavasthita Chetaha is the word, Chetasaha is Shashti Vibhakti. Jnanavasthita Chetaha is Jnaneyeva Avasthitam Chetaha Yasya Saha. That is one whose mind is fixed in that jnana, one whose mind is stable. Avasthita, that is something which is stable and unwavering. He is not having a fickle mind. The moment he sees something else, he doesn't get attracted. So in that jnana, he is having a stable mind. He is not having a wandering mind. He is having a stable mind, stable in jnana, stable in Brahman understanding. So that is it. Jnanavasthita chetaha is the word. Chetasaha is Shashti Vibhakti. Jnanavasthita chetasaha. Yajnaya acharatah karma. Then he is doing karma for the sake of yajna. Imagine again Janaka, when he is discharging his royal duties, that is a yajna on his part. Yajna is, what is yajna? We have seen even in the third chapter, a fairly elaborate meaning is given in that third chapter also for the word yajna. Yajna is any activity which is done as an offering to the Lord, as an offering to the samashti. We saw two words there, samashti and vyashti. Vyashti is the individual, samashti is the cosmos. So he is doing his duty as something which is an offering to that, as his contribution to that whole, as the contribution to that samashti, as the contribution to the society. So in the interest of social cohesion, in the interest of social welfare, let us say, and as an order from the Lord and as a duty assigned on him, he is doing. So that is what is yajna. So for somebody who is doing his karma as a yajna, then karma samagram praviliyate. Samagram means along with the result. The karma may be having that karma phala. That karma phala, karma, all those things, they just dissolve, they just disappear, they just melt away. So that is the meaning of the shloka. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.